Hello, curious minds and fellow bookworms. Welcome back to Supreme Book Dealer. My name is Wes, and today we are embarking on a darkly whimsical journey through the worlds of orphans, villains, and mysteries with a book series that has been enchanting readers of all ages. And before I actually introduce this book, I just want to give a disclaimer. This is my favorite series of all time. And I know I talk a lot about, I love this book, this is one of my favorite books. Now, this is legitimately one of my favorite books, but this is in fact my favorite series of all time. And with that being said, no pun intended, but we're talking about a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. And if you enjoy tales of intrigue, of wordplay, and clever storytelling, you are in for a unique and unforgettable adventure. But before we plunge into the Baudelaire siblings' misadventures, let me provide a brief overview of a series of unfortunate events. The book follows the lives of the three Baudelaire orphans, Violet, Klaus, and Sonny Baudelaire, who must outsmart their distant relative Count Olaf as he schemes to steal their inheritance. Throughout the series, the children encounter a series of peculiar characters and unravel a web of mysteries. Let's dive into the review. So one of the most distinct features of a series of unfortunate events is in fact its narrator, Lemony Snicket, who is really just kind of quirky. Snicket's dry and humorous narrative style, complete with the amusing definitions, the footnotes, the asides, add depth to the storytelling. His witty wordplay and clever use of language will keep you captivated. I know when I first read it, it was a very unique writing style, right? Like to have the narrator provide you with definitions, to have the narrator give their insight, was something that I wasn't really used to when I first read this book. I want to tell you a quick little story. When I was a kid, I used to love playing basketball in the summertime, right? So every day after my mom came home from work, I would want to go play basketball. But because I had to babysit my sister, I had to wait until my mom got home. You know, like teenage stuff. When I first got this book, this one particular, I read it and I was so invested and so captivated by the storytelling that I just stayed in my room all day. And I finished this book in one day, less than like 5 hours, because I could not put this book down. When my mom came home, she asked if I wanted to go play basketball. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna continue reading this book. And that's exactly what I did. So this is just like, I tell that story to just highlight how engaged I was because of how good the story is. Let's get back to the review. Another thing I really love about this book is the complexity of the characters and the villains. I think that the characters in this series as a whole, but definitely in this book, are brilliantly written. The Baudelaire orphans are resourceful and sympathetic protagonists, and their intelligence and resilience make them really easy to root for. And I've read books where I don't really care for the narrator. I mean, I don't really care for the main character, our protagonist. There's books that I was like, I could care less if they resolve their issues or if they don't. Some characters are written horribly, but they are written so well. On the other hand, the series is known for its cast of memorable villains, right? With Count Olaf taking center stage. The villains are often over the top and delightfully wicked, making them entertaining adversaries. Even if they aren't necessarily a threat, a lot of times they're so over the top that you kind of just, if not scared, you'll have a laugh at the villains. But Count Olaf is one of my favorite villains. He is smart. He is diabolical. He's wicked. He has everything that a good villain has. He does not make me sympathize in him whatsoever, and I want him to lose so bad that if he doesn't, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. So A Series of Unfortunate Events has some pretty amazing themes, such as morality, such as resilience, and it delves into these themes, right? So it delves into the themes of resilience, of morality, and the power of knowledge. And I love that last one, right? The power of knowledge. They have to use their resources. They have to use their intelligence, right? Violet has to use her knowledge of inventing and building stuff. Klaus is a gifted reader, and he goes back to these books and he pulls out information that he needs to help solve whatever issue that they're going. And Sunny uses her teeth to get them out of potential danger, right? All while providing a thrilling and suspenseful narrative. Let me just say this before I continue. Klaus is one of my favorite characters in literature. And one of the reasons why I do love him is because of how smart he is, but because of how we have a book that I'm reading, right? And I'm reading a book, and there's a character in that book who is also reading books to help solve them from the issue in the book that I'm reading. I just love Klaus's love for reading, and it really made me connect and gravitate towards him as a character. I just wanted to say that. All right, back to our review. Unique storytelling and atmosphere is another great quality and great component of this book, right? So the series is non-linear storytelling, and recurring motifs create an intriguing atmosphere. And each book is like a puzzle piece contributing to the larger mystery, and this sense of continuity keeps readers engaged and eager to uncover the truth. You know, like all the books kind of like go into the next one. Like if we missed a book, we would be missing a crucial piece of information. So you know, it's such a non-linear way of storytelling, and I just think that because they go into the next installment in the series, it really makes you want to keep reading and just invested. And the work that you put in from the previous book really does pay off. We learn so much about our protagonists if we continue to read them in order. I think I read one book out of order and I was lost for the whole entirety of it. Yeah, if you're gonna read this, read them in order for sure. Its impact and its legacy is another thing I want to talk about. So A Series of Unfortunate Events has left a lasting impact on literature and pop culture, and it has been praised for its intelligence, its wordplay, and its ability to introduce young readers to complex themes. I know that's really one reason why I love this book, and because of that, it has inspired a successful Netflix series and continues to be beloved by new generations of readers. Also has an actual movie. Jim Carrey was in it. It was a pretty dope movie, but because they tried to do the first 3 books, I think it kind of missed the mark. I think you have to like devote one movie to each book. I know in the Netflix series, it was like 2 episodes per book, and I think that's kind of the way you have to go if you want to do it. All right, so what is my final thoughts and my overall impression of A Series of Unfortunate Events? It's a captivating and cleverly written series that balances darkness and humor in a way that's both entertaining and thought-provoking. It's a unique reading experience that will keep you eagerly turning the pages. I absolutely love this book. If I was on an island and I had to pick one book, it would be one of these books. I mean, I just love this series, and I'm gonna keep saying it because it really, it's not the book that got me into reading, but it's the book that made me love reading. And because of that, it's always gonna have a special place in my heart. With that being said, would I recommend A Series of Unfortunate Events? Yes. Absolutely, 100%. Top 5 recommendations I could give a person. I think everybody should read this book. Everybody should read this series and familiarize yourself with the Baudelaire orphans. They're some of the greatest protagonists in literature. Count Olaf, one of the greatest villains in literature. You have to come read this book. please check this book out. Let me know what you think. With that being said, thank you for joining me in this review of one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series, a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. If you read this series, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And like I said before, if you haven't read this, what are you waiting for? Go read this book. I hope this review has piqued your interest. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay updated on more reviews and literary discussions here on Supreme Book Dealer. And as always, be well and keep reading. Peace out.